taking class. So I always remember being in here kind of squirming in my Masi's lap as people were saying things I didn't really understand, in part because they were in Sanskrit, and waiting for my turn to be in class, for my turn to finally be a student and to have some understanding of what was happening as opposed to just sitting on the sidelines. And so I think this kind of came really into focus for me during the puja we just did, because I was saying things that I didn't even remember that I knew. When you're 3 years old, you're alone, and it's incredible the seeds that get planted. I'm a little surprised by how much I remember being in this space across 14 years that I really, when I was thinking of what to say maybe 2-3 days earlier, I would never have thought of. So there are a few things in life that have roots in childhood, a trunk in adolescence, and branches in adulthood. And Chinmaya Mission has been one of those things. It was really an unacknowledged part of my upbringing. I think that I didn't really pay it as much attention as I should have, but it still was there. It grew in the background, resilient in its upbringing, and I was negligent towards it sometimes. Sometimes I actively tried to ignore it, but regardless of my care or lack thereof, it still grew, and it casted a lot of shade onto other parts of my history. I remember thinking about intention a lot after we discussed it in 8th grade in regards to karma and whether it really made a difference. I remember in 3rd grade, Daksha Auntie would always tell us stories, and I would repeat them as soon as I got home, in part because I liked them so much and in part because I knew it would help me remember them. I remember at various points thinking about Chinmaya Mission and how I vowed to never ever go back for whatever reason I had constructed at that moment. But here I am, 14 years later, graduating, and it's remarkable to me exactly how much I remember of the experience and sometimes how little I remember of the actual content. Because will I remember every principle? Will I follow every guideline? Did I cherish and take notes on every single thing we did in class? No. But still, Chinmaya Mission has become a tree in the forest of my upbringing. It's become a part of that vibrant and humming foundation for my future. And going forward, I know that it's always there for me if I choose to come back and reappraise its worth and climb that tree and decide for myself what it means for me going forward. And for that, I'm grateful. For that, I realize I will forever have utility. So next year, as I go to Yale and I plan on studying history, I really think about how one of the biggest lessons in history that I had hammered into me in high school was that our greatest bias is our own perception. And it's actually wonderful looking back, looking at all of you, thinking about how Chinmaya Mission has become part of my perception, it's part of my bias, and it makes me look at the world with a little bit of a rose-colored lens. Carry on.
Dashanoi, the kindest. Namita is full of genuine compliments and never fails to contribute to class discussion. You can always go to Namita to talk about anything because you know you can trust her opinions.
Hari Om, everyone. I've always loved coming here to Chinmaya Mission. And initially the main reason was the peaceful feeling I get every time I'm in the shrine. One incident that I would love to share is, I remember I was upset about something. I don't know what the thing was, but I was really upset. And before coming here, I was upset before coming here to Shrine, and after listening to all of us chanting Swamiji's lectures, bhajans, the arati, I remember feeling very much at peace. And of course after that, when I came back home, I started to get upset again. But I think that incident is the testimony to the fact that Chinmaya Mission has had a positive impact on my well-being. Of course, right now there is an additional reason as to why I love being here. Personally, I always wanted to know more about Hindu philosophy, and this year was very special to me because I got to learn a lot by having a lot of discussions about certain hardcore topics like Dharma, Karma, Purushartha, Prarabdha. At least I remember those names, but of course I might not be able to remember every single thing we've learned, but I think the one main thing I've learned in all the years I've been here is that it's okay to question all aspects of Hinduism or any religion. And I feel that the more we question about things like why do we do these rituals or why do we do what we do and how does the concepts like dharma and karma apply to our own life. I feel that the more we question about it and the more we try to understand everything, the easier it is for us to make as many of the right decisions as we can in our life, and also the easier it is for us to gain happiness. And I would love to thank God, my parents, for giving me the opportunity to be here. Before I forget, I would like to thank Neha and her family for introducing me to Chinmaya Mission. I would love to thank all of my teachers I've had in the past, especially teachers now like Rajiv Uncle and Shekhar Uncle, for helping me to understand and appreciate what Hinduism really is. I would love to thank all the volunteers for making every event in Chinmaya Mission happen. Especially, I would love to thank all the volunteers for the food every time after Shrine. At least I love the food. I know some kids complain about it, but I enjoyed every single meal. Because I'm that nice. So I would love to thank Swamiji and Acharya Dhiranji for their presence. And I hope that in the future I would be able to come here again, whether it's to get that peaceful feeling or to most likely be part of the study group or to volunteer. And I also hope to cherish those memories I've had while being here. And next year this fall I'm going to Loyola University to study nursing. Thank you.
Next, we have Brahma Shirama, the most introspective. Brahma has a strong understanding of himself and the world around him. He is successful in almost any environment and will continue to blaze his own trail in the future.
I'm Pramuk. I don't really have a specific story that I wanted to share from my time at Chinmaya Mission, but I just wanted to thank all the teachers and Swamiji and my parents for pushing me to come here for all these years. And I know that the lessons that I learned here will stick through with me throughout the rest of my life, and they really helped me become a better person. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to study biology this fall.
Spoke today. And we also know that parents share the ups and downs of life along with their
Everybody, first of all, my pranams to all. First of all, I'd like to thank, like Rajiki said, all the teachers and sevaks for their continued effort and services to instill our culture and values to all the children and also adults. A few weeks back, Rajivji and Shekharji wanted me to give this address on how Chinmaya Mission has helped Anand, our son. When I heard that, that was first time for me. I never analyzed this before, and it was difficult for me to talk about it. But I said, I wasn't comfortable, so I first went to Shekharji and said, Shekharji, I'm not comfortable, I don't want to do it. Shekharji said immediately, no, you have to do it. Because we usually ask the parent whose kid is normally regular in class. So that's the criteria. He was very straightforward, very fair, honest. Still, I'm not comfortable. So I went to Rajivji next and told him the same thing. And he said, oh, take it cool. Not to worry, we don't want to pressure you. You just sit back and relax. So look at these two different responses. Both are so different, but at the same time they complement each other. These are the two best teachers we have who really source of inspiration to our kids and also parents too. Now, before answering how Chinmaya Mission has helped our children, we got to think how it has helped us as parents. So I was thinking about it because parents play a big role. Children will observe us, and once Gurudev said, culture cannot be taught, it has to be caught. So many years ago, late 70s or early 80s, my dad took me to a discourse by Jiddu Krishnamurti, who was known as JK in the international circles in Chennai. During his discourse, he usually asked questions. One of his questions was, who is God or what is God? There were many answers, but one answer caught his attention. That was, God is the solution. When I heard that, it didn't make any impact in me, but I know that it was like a seed when somewhere inside me, hiding inside me. Many years later, in 2003, I joined Chinmaya Mission and started taking classes, discourses, attend study groups, and I realized slowly that the seed which was in me started sprouting. God is the solution, and God alone is slowly becoming a reality. When we come to Chinmaya Mission on Sundays, if we don't come, we feel that the week hasn't started right or ended right. When we come here, we attend many activities like bookstore or kitchen or food service or interfaith dialogue or diksha or many of them. And also attend some discourses, very good discourses on parenting, surrender, and Swamiji's visits to our adult study groups, question and answer sessions, where we learned a lot. And those were very handy when we do the parenting or any other difficult situations. So this is how we gained as a parent. Now coming to Anand. Anand, fortunately, by God's grace, is a good kid. He is a very good athlete. He represented sports, many sports in school, varsity, track and field, cross country, soccer, basketball. So being disciplined and regular and punctuality was ingrained in him, so we didn't have any difficulty bringing him to the mission. But when he came here, all what he learned, are they gone as seeds into him, like the way it did to me when my father took me to the discourse? I don't know. Is this the right time to ask whether those seeds have sprouted? Once Gurudev said, one disciple of Gurudev said, I have gone through all 18 chapters of Gita. Gurudev asked him, did Gita go through you? In the same situation. Now, why I'm saying this, my other son, Arvind, is here today. He graduated 4 years back from Chinmaya Mission and also from high school, and recently graduated from the college. So when we went to visit him 2 months back, that was a national dance competition where he was a captain and a main choreographer for this university. And it was a very difficult time. He had to pull together everything, coordinate with everybody. That was a tough, challenging time for him. So at that time, I thought I'll ask him, did Chinmaya Mission help you in any way? He said, certainly, Dad. You just have to surrender. We are just instrument. The results is not in our hands. It's all from God. And when you know that, you won't worry about it. And when I heard that, I realized that he has learned something from here, and I think that has come from none other than Chinmaya Mission. Anand, I hope you are listening to this. maybe 4 years from now, when you are going through those challenging times, maybe we'll ask you the same question. And I really hope, you will also discover the same like Arvind. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all the, thank you for being a good, important part of our life, and Hari Om.
I'll go now for Shanta Goals.
Hari Om, everybody. Well, first of all, my humble pronouns to each and every one of you here. It's a great blessing that Swami Prakashananda is our chief guest, Swamiji, Dhirenji, Acharyaji, Every one of you, thank you very much for being a very special part of our lives. Shekharji and Rajivji asked me to speak about what Chinmaya Mission means to me. I don't know, it was a different topic they gave to Shivaji. So I guess it was a trick question. Well, first of all, since everybody's back here, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank every one of the teachers who have actually helped these kids go from kindergarten to this state. I think I would request for a round of applause for every one of them who are here. A very special teacher I'd like to remind everybody was Sudha Bhattji, who introduced Shivansh to Gita chanting. When we started coming here, he was almost 4 years old. He said, "Why isn't he in Gita chanting competition?" And I clearly remember telling her, I can't utter any word in Sanskrit, how do you think he can? And she said, "I know you can't. You will have to put a lot of effort, but he can do it." And from then on, he was into it all along, as most of you know. So I'd like to thank you very much today. What Chinmaya Mission means to me is very different. Let me say this. I'm going to put my perspective, so if something doesn't make sense, please excuse me for that. Chinmaya Mission is I call the pathless path to the universal flow of infinite bliss. Chinmaya Mission is an avenue for educating children with the timeless values of Paravidya, which Swamiji mentioned as the spiritual education, following the traditions of our Gurukula ashram. In my humble opinion, when I first started, I had never seen Gurudev. My first DVD was The Logic of Spirituality. It hit me so hard that folks who know me, like especially Ashokji or Arunji, probably the older crowd here, I have spent thousands. I was just totally attracted with, drawn with Gurudev's teachings. Until I can only say this: Gurudev is not a person, he's not an individual, he's not a Keralite or an Indian. Chinmaya itself means consciousness, and consciousness is Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma. He is the self in every one of us, he is the universal self, and it is the flow of self-knowledge that continues all the time. That's what Chinmaya Mission means to me. At any moment, it's a picture that I can see all the time, and it was also a great blessing that we had the Gurudev musical last week. I told Shivansh, this is a tremendous blessing, especially for the rest, all of you kids this year, because you have a Gurudev musical, and Shivansh played Gurudev, and I happen to be his dad. I couldn't tell song. I don't know. It was a fascinating experience and a fabulous story to go through. As many of you know, I read a lot of these little books because I can't read the big books. I don't have the patience. And I came across this small prasad book. It's called I Am Chinmaya Mission. And I have a small write by Gurudev that I would like to quickly read through for probably every one of you. The topic is self-improvement by Gurudev. Do not rush out to improve the world. Chinmaya Mission is not there for you to look out into the world, not even so that you may look into the organization as a whole and see, and study the organization's total growth, but rather it is there for that each one of you might develop internally. Do not keep thinking how far have we done work outside. Only self-improvement is important. We want the chastest of the chaste for the mission. We want sincerity and constant introspection. We are not interested in how many buildings and institutions we possess as a mission. Instead, we are interested in how far each individual has become